Hey everyone, and welcome back to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk about everything you and your friends are talking about at rehearsal on a water break. I'm Joey, and joining me today are Jeremy, Nicole, and Ricardo, and Haley. We're excited to dive into everything that's happening in the marching arts this week. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and follow us. And if you have a hot take or a story, send it through our link in our bio so you can be featured on the show.
8 off the mat and go.
Welcome to On a Water Break, the podcast where we talk everything marching arts.
Everyone, bring it in. It's time for a water break.
All right, friend, let's meet our panel real quick. I'm Joey, and today we've got Jeremy with us. Jeremy, how's it going?
It's going good. Just enjoying the summer here in Minnesota. Heat wave finally cracked, so it's beautiful. It's a good day.
What does a heat wave look like in Minnesota?
It was like over 15 days of 95 plus temperature, so yeah, it was hot.
That is more wave. That is
And humid.
That's a tsunami. What's there? Yeah, I was about to say, is it a dry heat or is it a wet?
No,
Is that what you call it, a wet heat?
it's very humid. It's sticky.
Oh yeah.
It's a warm
We has it in the North Carolina.
Yes.
Yeah, you walk out. Is it a sauna or is it an oven?
A sauna.
Everybody says that the other one is different, and the other one is borscht or what have you.
They both.
I think they're both terrible. Yeah, I'd rather just stay inside. That's awesome. I'm glad we're in a cooler Minnesota. Let's go Minnesota. Well, we've also got Nicole on the podcast. Nicole, how's it going?
It's good. What's up, man? I haven't been on this with you in a while.
I know it's always a good time. I'm excited to see what we get into here in a bit. What's your summer been looking like?
Working with clients and working with my new guard. Well, I haven't really worked with them yet. It's more along the lines of like, let me make sure you have everything you need because the program is basically a toddler. It's 4 years old. So yeah, we're creating a brand. So just got the uniforms down to like, this is what we're getting. So like the ball is rolling. It's becoming a thing.
Well, especially like that new in a journey, they're very lucky to have you. Good for you, Nicole. How's Ricardo doing over there?
Hi. Well, I am much better. I am still in recovery from spine surgery that I had a couple of weeks ago. So this is my first week of actually sitting up and doing things for longer than like 15 or 20 minutes.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're gonna make this the fastest podcast in the world, so we can get you weighed down. Okay?
It's okay. I'm sitting on like protective stuff right now. So I have like my little lower lumbar butt cushion thing, and then I have my back thing, and
Joey,
hey.
who are you kidding with this crew? It's not gonna be quick.
Yeah, we're gonna talk through.
We'll check it with Ricardo. Are you in pain?
Yeah.
And the on a water break pain meter goes to we're in level red. Well, you give us a thumbs down if it starts to hurt, and we'll start moving a little bit quicker. Okay, Ricardo.
I got you.
And then we've also got Haley on the podcast. What's going on, Haley?
Oh, not much. I'm just excited to be here with you all. This is going to be a really awesome episode.
Yeah. What's the summer been like? How are the drum corps?
Oh, doing great. CT's been having a bunch of weekend rehearsals since we're all age, and we actually have a mini tour coming up this weekend. We're going to be in Sheffield, Pennsylvania, Norton, Ohio, and then the Summer Music Games Mason, Ohio show. So I'm really excited about that. It's like our first scored shows happening finally.
Nice.
So we've been really building up to that. So I'm super pumped.
Awesome. How's the cast feeling about their show?
I think they're really excited. We added some cool production aspects to our show like last weekend, and so it's like all coming together. I was really bummed about the weather though this last weekend because we're gonna finally do like our full run and full uniform first time, like that magic, right? And then it just like started like the lightning and the rain. Yeah, like literally we were just like had put the stuff on, we're taking pictures for social media, and then it was like, oh, lightning's like, within 10 miles. So we're like, we don't have enough time. We got to get out of here. So
Wow. Oh, that's the hard part about these kind of shortened summers is if you lose one to rain, then your ratio I saw that a little bit on the social medias too. Was your ratio of shows to not shows starts to really shift as soon as you get one rain. So I feel that that's tough. I remember, I mean, we had what, like 30, 40 shows, 50 shows in a summer. You lose one, you're like, oh, we get snack early.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that cheesy rice right now. But I can't imagine what the performers are feeling nowadays. They go, there's one run. We'll get 20 more, 25 more now at this point,
there
right?
was several drum corps here in the Midwest that like their first 3 shows were rained out, like right in a row. I have some. I'm connected with friends with some of the Blue Stars Color Guard kids, and they were like, we're never going to get to perform. We just practice every single day.
It's going to be really good in the dome.
There you go.
Right. They won't cut San Antonio. Well, friends, I'm really excited to get started with you. My listeners, we've got some bonus content previews. The latest On a Water Break episode has been out. Check it out. We talk about ice detentions, DCI debate, and baton nationals. So everything in the sun. And one of my favorite things about the podcast is that we get into the fun stuff like baton nationals, and then we get into some of the nitty grittier things that affect us as performers and our students and us as instructors, like this ice detention stuff. And there's always things to talk about when what DCI, WGI, BOA can do better to serve the community and how they're already doing a great job of that. So go check out that bonus content, and we're gonna keep pushing, friends. You ready for some news?
Oh yeah.
Well, friends, we've got some news going on in the marching arts, and I'm going to start off with mine first. Just because it's a new world that I was introduced to a little bit. Thank you, Mike Corrigan and the BAC 8 to 5 guys, for having me come out to a HBCU competition this year. There's another one. They're all over the place, and it's a new world, and I'm loving the absolute showmanship that I'm seeing through watching these groups compete. And while it's different than what we do in what I guess what we could call this the pageantry arts, or color guard, or what have you, winter guard, the 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 energy that these ensembles have is second to none. I haven't seen a WGI group get people on their feet like some of these ensembles do. So anyway, that's why I want to talk about this one. The National Battle of the Bands is happening in Dallas, Texas. Uh, the Pepsi is bringing the premier HBCU band showcase to the home of the Dallas Cowboys beginning in 2027. The Pepsi National Battle of the Bands announced that Dallas as the new home of the annual August event. Activities will take place during the week of August 27th, 2027. The event is being held in Houston this year. It usually is in Arlington, is what I'm reading, but now they're going to go to Dallas, and they're hoping for bigger numbers. And I think just an opportunity to play music, and an opportunity to show something you're passionate about and share. I mean, if you've ever listened to any of these ensembles play, you can definitely hear the passion and the energy that these young performers have. I head over heels. I saw it for the first time live in, what was that? That was February, and I was hooked. I've been watching and learning about the jukebox, the human jukebox, and the marching 100, and learning some of the history behind it. And oh, so cool.
Yeah.
Such cool.
Dude, so one of the categories I judge for marching bands is called traditional. It's the HBCU style. And I get excited to watch them because they bring so much energy when they start to perform. But man, I haven't seen any of the college bands live. But even when they're doing any videos, I remember Black and Gold. Anytime I see that video of their trombones, right? Yeah, their trombones playing Black and Gold. And I'm just like, it's just a stance tune, Nicole. But it's so good. It's so good. And just the amount of air. That's all I can say. The amount of air that they're putting through those horns, and it's so much energy, and then to see their dancers, and besides that, the sponsorships that they get to put these shows on, last year it was Toyota, this year it's Pepsi. I mean,
Yeah.
we
It's
don't
major,
get sponsorship.
it's major stuff.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to grow up in a world where I went back and forth between like HBCU and traditional style. So, I spent a lot of Saturdays at Jackson State University games, the Sonic Boom of the South. And I will tell you that I thought at one point in my life that I was going to be the first male J set. Like that was my goal in life. I
Y'all hear it, Jason?
I know Jason honorary. I got to speak to Dr. Roderick Little, who is the band director at Jackson State, a couple of months ago with the project for the African American Legacy Corps, and I had to fangirl for a second before I actually had a conversation with him, and I was straight up like, I'm sorry, like I meet like a lot of my heroes. I was like, but like you're like a hero. So I'm gonna try. I want to go, Joey. We should go together. We should make that a little trip.
I'm down.
Nicole, you want to
Nicole's in.
sound on your
Bring
air?
your sister. Yes, thank
I
you.
bring my sister, my sister, Sunny.
100%. You heard it here first, friends. On a Water Break will be at the 2027 Pepsi Battle of the Bands. Let's see if Pepsi can sponsor us.
Pepsi,
Covering.
we're great commentators.
I drink
That-
Pepsi over Coke.
Well, so this is where things are gonna get really just energetic. I guess I am a Coca-Cola guy. I am a nonstop. If people talk to me about what Joey Water is, it is Coca-Cola. So Pepsi, this is a big deal for me. I will wear Pepsi Blue. I will from head to toe. If you get us on a Water Break friends over to just share with the world the amazingness of HBC, the world of HBCU, and the absolute passion these young performers have. So
We'll get some Pepsi t-shirts to wear.
shout out Pepsi.
Yeah.
All right.
I love this. Nicole, do you got any news for us?
I do. So the next, and I feel like this is a long time coming, but this next news one is with UIL. UIL is the governing body in Texas with all, basically with all kinds of, sports, the arts, anything. It's like a governing body in Texas. And right now, they are making the WBGT monitoring mandatory for outdoor athletics. And so what some people don't know, and I know a lot of what do you call it? A lot of drum corps already do know, because we already use, or I think they still continue to use, the wet bulb glow temperature monitoring app, just to make sure the kids aren't out in the 112 degrees for ever. But even if they are out in like 100 degrees, it's like, okay, you can be out in it for like 5 minutes, but then you've got to come in. And Texas is hot all the time. And so now UIL has made it so that they need to keep a little bit more of monitoring under that, because before it was just like, okay, practices from 9 to 3, go practice, that's it. So basically what's happening, this came out of Houston, is that UIL member schools will be required to use the wet bulb globe temperature, or WBGT, to monitor conditions during outdoor UIL athletics and marching band activities. And this is beginning in the 2026-27 school year. They're required to use WBGT, the system. They've been using it since 2023, but the major change is that this measurement is not just like a requirement, it's now mandatory, and that's beginning August 1st. So I don't know how familiar you all are with, like, as far as marching band's concerned, but like, you have 8 hours a week that you be outside. So now it's kind of like, because of the heat, it's gonna probably chop that down to a little bit more. So with relative humidity, wind speed, and the solar radiation, they have to take that into account. Schools use this to determine whether they need to add rest and hydration breaks, limit productive equipment, shorten their practice time, or just stop outdoor rehearsals altogether, to make it better until conditions are better. Schools have to check the app every 15 minutes before practice begins, and then every 30 minutes during practice.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I know where that back in 2020, 2019. I was in Texas from 2016 to about 2020. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't do that. So they have to use the on-site. There's an instrument that every school's going to have, and other specific or scientifically proven methods, but including internet-based apps. But they have to use those. So when the reading moves from one level to another, the schools have to adjust their practices according to UIL's activity guidelines. So what they've done is just divided areas into like heat classifications based on the climate. So Houston falls within a class 3, meaning local schools follow the class 3 column of the app's activity chart. So you have to be like kind of have it basically on you if you're a teacher, instructor, so that you can stay within those guidelines. In class 3, a rapid cooling zone is required once the app reaches 82. So these zones must provide immediate access to cold water immersion tubs, a tarp that can be filled with ice, and water to rapidly cool someone experiencing heat illness. So they have to have that on site.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm curious if, like, because I know you said they get 8 hours of rehearsal. If they have to take a 15-minute break, does that count as part of the rehearsal time, or is it?
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, you have that big lump of time, whatever you do in but that's your 8 hours.
Wow.
You also have school time. That's why a lot of classes are marching band classes. So during class, that doesn't count towards it. Please sound off in the comments if I'm wrong and if it's changed since 2020. But I believe that if you have class time, that doesn't count towards your 8 hours.
Well, I'm going to say this is a very smart move for Texas and taking care of kids. We have here in Florida, we saw a couple years ago, a couple of high school kids, not in band, but playing other sports, pass away from like heat exhaustion and other things. And so we implemented something like this a couple years ago. It has not necessarily been like mandated for marching band yet because we don't have the same like governing body as like the athletic people do, but definitely there are districts that have been requiring that type of monitoring to happen. And I know within our district, we have our band people work athletic trainer to know and understand WGBT rating is, just to keep kids good. And also, Jeremy, you and I were talking about this before we started recording. Back in the 1900s when we marched, we weren't hydrated back then. It didn't matter if we drank water or not. And I know people say it makes us stronger, but like having taught in the desert for the last 2 years and really having to pay attention to that, like it makes a difference in how the kids feel. And like, if we got to keep kids healthy, like they're no good to you if they're not healthy, guys.
I don't even think I had a water jug on tour when I was in drum corps.
That's a good thought.
We had cups at the Cavaliers. Like they gave us individual cups.
Yeah, we had like a pitcher, like a thing with like a dispenser with cups.
Like the 5-gallon, like round orange cooler.
Water bowl
I
situation.
don't remember having like my actual own water jug on tour. I also don't remember wearing sunscreen either, but that's like another story.
You did not pick sunscreen. I know that's wrong, but I stand on that hill. That's like, don't go in the sun.
Well, I think this is great, and I could see anytime that something comes up like this, I always see band directors being, oh, another thing to worry about, but it's like the biggest thing to worry about. I feel,
Right.
And good on UIL for getting ahead of the situation. For the pandemic, I remember everybody was just off to their try to make it work, and so there were band directors putting bandanas over bells and saying like, does this count? Can we do band? Just to find a way to make it work. And we had to figure things out on our own. So thank you for the band directors during COVID and during those times that shared their success stories. This is an excellent opportunity or this is an excellent thing that UIL has put together, saying like, when it's this, do this. When it's this, do this. When it's this, do this. Rather than us trying to figure it out on our own, because we've, talking about marching drum corps in the 1900s, and those of us that did it in the early 2000s and even 2010s. I know a lot of people that should have gone to the hospital during tour, but the tour director said you can just sleep it off. It'll be okay. And so
Yeah.
everything has changed, and we see the shows that are going on right now, and we go like, you have to think that there's some kind of correlation. The crazy things that these kids are doing day after day after day. I don't think that I could have done that when I was marching, and like
Absolutely not.
the health, the expansion,
we
or
were
whatever.
Well,
Yeah. Imagine having all the brain cells working.
Imagine if I had a water bottle back then. Wow, how great would I be now?
Here, I can't believe you brought that up, and it made me think about it. I was like, oh, I did not. I had a cup. We went over and filled up, but we didn't have more. Wow.
Flash forward to 2026, where I can't go anywhere without my emotional support skills.
That's right. Yeah. And I have to have multiple. Like I have too many. I can just keep all them out.
She said, I has too many.
I don't think you can. The limit does not exist.
No.
Thank you, Ricardo. I agree with you.
They used to call Haley Hydrated Haley in high school.
Oh,
That was her name.
that's exactly right. That's me.
It was written all over the walls. Jerry, do you have any news for us?
Sure. So the Boise Gems are a new open class corps. They just completed their first competitive season. So I love that they're doing this the smart way. First of all, they're from Idaho, which it's great to see a corps from a place where I didn't even know they had marching band or anything. So and so this is their third season. They started as sound sport last year. I think they were open class, but they didn't get scored. And this was their first competitive season in open class as an actual affiliate open class corps. And they did 5 shows, I believe, like Pacific Northwest into Drums Along the Rockies. Had a great season, super competitive with other corps in the open class. And they're looking forward to growing smartly, gradually adding more and more links to their tour. It'd be great to see them in the Indy, hopefully, eventually. But I watched them on Flow Marching. They put a great production on the field this year. I was really impressed. So congratulations to the Boise Gems.
My Boise Gems.
It's cool to see all these groups. So, there's the Idaho Friends. There's the Battalion. There's Arsenal out of El Paso, Texas. Watching kind of these groups come from places that you wouldn't normally think of band. Coming out of. They're in full swing, and the young people that are taking charge of these corporate or these organizations are just so inspiring. Like, there are kids younger than all of us out there running these huge ships, and it's amazing.
Right. I just love seeing new drum corps come out.
Yeah.
Because you're hearing about different drum corps folding, and it's just like, okay, you can go away and then cut that, take a year off. It's great to see the next thing come up. We got room.
And it's great to see DCI too putting a program in place to make sure that they don't come out too soon, don't go on tour too soon. That they're kind of forcing groups to grow smart. Start regionally, do a week or two tour, and then eventually get to the big stage. But not just letting groups come out first year, full summer tour, going to Indy like.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to be the soundbite that gets me blacklisted from DCI or whatever, but I miss the days of there being a ton of smaller corps that did smaller tours. And I was having this conversation a couple weeks ago, like back in the 1900s. We had Division II and Division III corps, and they didn't do these massive long tours. They had shorter seasons. And it allowed, and they didn't have these exorbitant, of course, the fees were much less back then anyway, but with some of these groups, they don't have the exorbitant tour cost, which allows more kids to be able to do and experience the activity. And it's still done at a really high level. Like they're still performing and getting better and creating some amazing art. I want to see the activity shift back into that. I want to see more of these small chorus coming from these places that we don't normally see chorus. And they only do 2 or 3 weeks, and they do like 5 or 6 shows, maybe at most, and get a season, and they do it.
I marched Patriots, and that was I aged out of Patriots, and they were Div 2. And we did for about a month, I want to say, we did just weekends. You had your week, and then we toured on the weekends. And then when we got on the road, like we did maybe like a week on the road. I know we did 2 weeks on and then like did a week off. It was still hard, because when we were on, and Peter was like, "We're doing this," and I mean, we won, and I feel like it would have been that hard for almost anyone, but like at the same time, like yeah, it gave us time. It gave us time to like kind of ease into it because it's Div 2. You know what I mean? No one. I moved to Rochester to do it, but like there wasn't a lot of people that were moving to that state to do things. And like you like live your life while doing drum corps. Okay, guess what? We're gonna actually do drum corps now. Let's do 2 weeks. So yeah, I loved it. Loved it.
It's
Well, I know
exciting.
that's like how Carolina Crown even started. Like they were, in Div 2 and like they worked their way up, and it took them a long time to get that figured out. It's like, using whatever resources they had, and now look where they are. It's like that whole like not just starting out with a big bang and like trying to make it, or like in like Ricardo saying, like building them up and making sure they have like the right avenue to like be successful. And so that really worked for them. So I don't see why we couldn't go back to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I was inside. I marched Blue Stars when we had 50 kids. Yeah, and yeah, same thing. Smaller tours, short, more breaks in between being on the road. Yeah, and look where they are. Look where they are now. They grew. They grew the way they should. Yeah.
I, I just want to end this part before we move on to Haley's news. Which, by the way, Haley's a big baseball fan. So MLB, if you're looking to give off season tickets somewhere, on a water breaks here for the love. But I just want to say, oh my goodness, how cool is it that DCI has an avenue to make this happen? And so if you're a listener and you're wondering, oh, I've always wanted to run a drum corps, my idea of a drum corps is going to be this amazing, blah, 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 blah. Like there's an avenue for you. And what I tell people as somebody that started multiple indoor groups where there was guard, percussion, or winds is you just got to start. And you're going to start somewhere. And, maybe you have 2 drums and you have a couple horns that some kids can have. And everything else is borrowed from the local space. But it can happen. You just have to start. And you're going to start from somewhere that you don't want to start. But it's possible. And imagine where we'd be if everybody just went for their dream. So I think DCI has a great opportunity for you. And if you feel like you've got this idea of what a drum corps could be, and you've got the best, identity for a drum corps, 100% jump in and just reach out to anybody on a Water Break podcast, because I'm sure we'd be willing to help grow the activity that brought us so much joy, and now that we're just addicted to.
Put us together as a
Yeah.
family.
That's a thing. Aww. And Bo. Haley, you got any news?
I do. So, speaking of Major League Baseball, All-Star break just happened, and awesomely enough, on Tuesday, July the 14th, at that All-Star game in Philadelphia, they had some marching arts performers on the field prior to the game, and so there were some people from AMP, Crossman, alumni, local band directors, music educators. I don't personally know anyone that was in it. Maybe you all do, but we are looking to do a quick sip with some of those people soon. But I wish I was there. I am a huge baseball fan. I was really excited whenever Jordan Walker from the St. Louis Cardinals won the home run derby, so I had to put that little plug in there. But no, it's like super shout out to all these performers that were a part of that. I'm super jealous. I wish that was me. I need to know how I can do that so I can be at this All-Star game next year. So if that was you, make sure you mention on the quick sip how to do that so I can be there with you next time.
Boom. A selfless call out. I love it. I MLB, get on a water break to your All-Star games. We'll cover imagine Ricardo covering the baseball game. And the ball goes
Oh,
the ball goes
honey, I
give me your
would
best.
talk about uniform colors and just, oh, honey, cuts of those pants. I do love baseball, honey. I do.
You know, we have Neil Bright is usually on sometimes, and he's from Savannah Bananas.
I would love to go to
He's
one of
not
those.
a baseball player, but he does do
He does the baseball band.
He's in the baseball band.
I love that.
Which also, just on the Savannah Bananas, oh my gosh, what a cool opportunity. If you had a little bit of theatrics in yourself and you could hit a ball. Oh, could you, Matt? I would have stuck with it just a little bit longer there in my youth, and now I'd be wearing yellow every weekend.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about this because this pissed me off. I was a 10 back in the day. Okay. My ninth grade years, I played tennis. I was like, but I would constantly spin my tennis racket, like as I was like standing on the sideline waiting to do something different. And I would like do choreography with it. Like, if I could have taken that and like done a baseball and spun it and done that and then the Savannah
Done a
Bananas, could have been the star. I could have been the star. That would have been my calling.
If Coach
No,
would've
Savannah
put me in-
Bananas, I can probably spin a baseball bat. Like I can come and do stuff if you want to hook me up. Or the Indianapolis Clowns or that fireman team that's really good too. They're fun.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the fireman team. I see a lot of their social media. I don't know why. I keep clicking on it.
It's pageantry. It's pageantry and sports. It's where the world's converge.
That might be my favorite team. I'm blushing. You can't tell. We're moving on. Ricardo, do you have any news for us?
I love how I have to segue into the sad story. So Music for All just posted a few days ago, and they said it's with great sadness that we share the news of the passing of Larry McCormick on Thursday, July 16th. Larry was the founder of Bands of America, the organization that ultimately became Music for All. His vision, entrepreneurial spirit, and unwavering belief in the power of music education created opportunities that have shaped generations of students, educators, and communities. And I'm going to say me too, because I have been with them for 23 years now. But a pioneering leader in our profession, Larry founded McCormick Enterprises in Chicago in 1969. Yes, for those of you who shop at McCormick's, the marching band supply store for flags and costumes and uniforms and all that stuff, it is the one and the same. And then he launched Marching Bands of America in 1975. Through his leadership, he created educational experiences that brought young musicians together from across the country to perform, learn, and grow. That organization evolved into Bands of America, and following its 2006 merger with the Music for All Foundation, they became the Music for All that we proudly steward today. So, even after selling McCormick Enterprises in 1984, Larry remained deeply committed to advancing music education through his Master Teacher video series featuring legendary educators, including William Ravelli, Steve Baitner. He continued to influence and inspire directors through the profession. So, as we reflect on Larry's remarkable legacy, we are reminded that the work we do each day is built upon the foundation he established more than 5 decades ago. His vision continues to live on through the millions of students, educators, alumni, volunteers, and supporters who have been touched by Music for All. So we are sending our love to the McCormick family, Larry's wife, Joy, and his sons, Scott and Kevin. Scott is a friend of mine. So Scott, sending you love to you and your family, love and prayers. It's always sad when we lose these people that are great and they have an idea and that idea sparks something that now, like, I don't know how I have lived my life without ever, knowing what BOA was or is, or much less working and teaching there for 20. That just did my 23rd year at the summer symposium. So, and that's all that also Larry's contribution. And like Joey said earlier, an idea that he just said, well, I'm going to do this, and look what it turned into. So
McCormick's has been a sponsor of the cookout for about 3
Ever
years,
since we started.
ever since we started. So, yeah,
Hmm.
definite big shout out. Like our hearts go out to the McCormick family. Yes.
Okay, that's sadness. Let's somebody else take over.
Okay.
I say I have one more story, but it's also kind of sad. But so Fusion Winter Guard, the current independent world class WGI champion, just announced a couple days ago that they are taking a indefinite pause, which is it's sad. This is the second year in a row that the independent world class champion has won and then decided to cease operations. Yeah, which is I don't know the reasoning behind it, but I've seen several posts from their staff just basically saying that burnout and just time for a break. And so wow, it's sad to see them go. I'm curious to see what's going to pop up in its place in that area for the performers. I guess we'll see what happens next. But yeah, it's big news in the WGI community to have our current world class champion decide to not come back out. So.
Ever since they hit the floor in world class, though, they've been a force.
Yeah,
You know,
for I mean, the guard's been around for I think almost 50 years, but this iteration has been 10 years. Yeah, the iteration that they came out in Independent Open and they quickly, in like the second year in the Open Class, were promoted to World mid-season. Yeah, and have become a game changer in terms like trendsetter, a game changer in the World Class in the brief time they were out. So
yeah, man, Fusion, you'll be missed.
yeah.
Really, really missed. So full disclosure, I was still in recovery mode when this came through our group text the other day, and I was probably had a few too many painkillers, and I literally found myself crying just thinking about them and thinking about Pride of Cincinnati and like all these organizations that come out and literally like remind us of why we love the activity, and then
Yes.
they go away, and it just makes me sad. But I'm sitting here now saying and thinking, like, I hope this makes way for something else great.
Absolute,
Yes.
110%. Yeah. Yep.
I hope that they did. They inspired enough people to, and the number of people that went through those organizations, like, come out and do another, start your own group. That's going to be the motto for this podcast today.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm so sorry. I thought I was unmuted. It was such a good transition. Anyway, friends, we're gonna hold on. Rewind. We will. Okay, friends, we're gonna. I can't even. That is so funny. We were all just sitting there.
Joey, you were like dancing, and you were.
I thought we were waiting for the playoff music, and I started singing it. Friends, we're gonna come back, and when we come back, we've already started the vibes back up. We'll be back after commercial break.
Celebrating over 25 years of service, Guard Closet is your one-stop shop for the marching arts. Our team of educators and designers are here ready to help you with anything that you need.
We have a large selection of consignments from award-winning programs and designers all across the country. Consignment is never delayed or back-ordered. When you buy consignment, you save time and money and help other organizations.
Do you need show design and custom choreography? Our designers have years of experience in the marching arts.
Do you need to sell your items and clear out your storage areas? We take in more than 600 sets of consignments each year and return hundreds of thousands of dollars to our consigners for their sales.
Do you need to have your students order shoes, gloves, and other equipment? We can set up a microsite for easy student ordering of a wide variety of items.
Do you need custom costumes or flags? We have a team of designers and consultants who are ready to help you with all your production needs.
Are you listening to our podcast on a water break? Weekly episodes and bonus content keep you entertained and informed with what's going on in the marching arts.
We can help you get everything you want and need for your season. For over 25 years, Guard Closet has been here to help. Check us out at guardcloset.com or follow us on social media.
Okay, I practiced this. Okay, everyone, it's time for 60-second tech block.
60-second tech block.
60-second tech block! We could have had Ricardo sing that one last.
Really do that.
What voice strain you have there? Such range, Ricardo.
I am going to say this because I'm super excited. This is gonna be my first 60-second tech block, and I literally sing the freaking song.
Well, I'm hoping we pick a good one. I hope we don't waste it on something crazy. I'm looking at your couple you just shared, and I think this is going to be great. I hope we pick the right one, though. Friends, this segment is where one of our hosts or guest clinicians, it's going to be Ricardo, is put on the spot to deliver a nonstop 60-second tech session on a topic that needs some serious attention after the last run. Our special tech this week has come prepared with 3 topics, and they think they could talk about for 60 seconds straight. No hesitation, no pauses, just pure technical gold. Ricardo, I am so excited that I get to be here for your first one. This is
honored.
Yeah, this is the team. We've built it. I've got a couple. Do you want to share your 3 ideas, Ricardo?
I mean, you could share them because you guys have to pick which one I do anyway. So
okay, he's given some pretty. I think they're all great, and I want one, but I don't know what the rest of the team will decide. The first one is the importance of properly taped equipment.
It's important.
I need this. If we don't do the 60-second tech block, we're doing a quick sip. 2, performance is more than a smile, and I love that. And then 3, I definitely need this after all the dancing I've been doing this year. How to survive spine surgery.
That's still in the making, but I could talk about it.
Friends, do we have any? Do you want to give our opinions here?
More than a smile.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Performance is more than a smile. I mean, and come back to us with the spine surgery surviving.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Yes.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it in segments. Like some of these like murder documentaries, like right after, 6 months after, a year after. I'm down.
Where are they now?
Where's that
serious.
spine now? I hope everything's okay, and I hope everything recovers well. It sounds like we have all said a unanimous performance is more than a smile. And I'm super excited. Haley, do you want to pick up? Oh, you're so ready to go.
I am ready.
Ricardo, this feels so weird to talk to the man, the myth, the legend about the 60-second tech block, but you get 60 seconds. It starts when Haley counts down 3, 2, 1, go, and she'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 at the end. Are you ready to talk about performance is more than a smile? Okay,
Yeah.
Here we go. Haley, take it away.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, people, listen. I know that back in the day, we thought that performance was simply sticking your head up, putting this little L thing underneath your chin, smiling, and getting to that press box. But it is more than that. If you are doing thematic type shows, there is some sort of underlying basis that is that theme. I want you to take your time. I want you to research what that means. I want you to use imagery as you are trying to convey that to an audience, because you have to think about it this way. What we are doing is acting without using words. It is basically pantomime. If you go to any ballet show, if you go to any theater show, you are watching performers tell you a story without saying a single word. We can do that and translate that into the pageantry arts world. Use your resources. There are theater teachers and people who do theater all over the place that are willing to come in and help you. There are also dancers that can do this. But know your story, tell your story fully with every part of your being.
Woo! Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's really hard. I could have kept talking forever, but
Though. Get your point across. Okay.
Yeah. I love this, and I love this because it is grown, and it is farther than, in the past there was the starting line. It is every shoe looked the same. Are the buckles the right way and what have you. Now we're getting to a point where, groups can prove that they've done that, and there's still competitions like that. But now, as we talk about the core style, or the is it show style? Is that what they call some of this as well? Like, it is a production, it is a show, and um, it's no longer ecstasy of gold. It's no longer, the music of it is, these huge, complex ideas, and entire 15-minute long canvases of emotion. You have to start thinking about this. If you're
Like we were talking about traditional bands and like show style bands earlier. And this is one thing that the show bands do really, really well. And that's usually because the music has some type of meaning to them in some sort of way. Either it's like something you've grown up with at your childhood, or it's a song you listen to or with friends. But when you watch those bands perform, they're getting emotion out of them. They're like wanting you to understand how that music makes them feel on the inside, showing it on the outside. Composers give us the script with their music. They have put their heart and soul into the music that we do in the pageantry arts. You need to, as a performer, put your heart and soul in it to make everyone who is watching you feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not just it.
Right. But you also bring into, you said, you watch ballet and theater and stuff like that. Like, all those different things, like, they are pageantry. Theater is pageantry, ballet, dance, it's all pageantry. Even the art, just going to a museum and looking at some art, that is also pageantry, in a way. And so you have to have some kind of respect and resemblance that is brought in from all of that.
Yeah.
There's a reason why this person painted this thing. What was going on? What were they feeling? Okay, you
Mhm.
need to portray that without opening your mouth, because they portrayed it without opening their mouth.
I always think it's important to tell kids too, like, performance isn't just from the neck up. Yeah.
It's not.
Like, it's
It's
from
body
all the way
language.
through the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. Yeah, like it's through your entire body. It's not just your face. It's not just your, like you said, not just your chin up with a smile. It's yeah.
Yep.
A true
Yeah.
performance is you're fully embodying that character or that emotion, and not just from the neck up. Yeah.
Absolutely.
There's a Paul Rennick clip that's been going around over the last year, and he says something really cool to his snare drummers. He says that if you don't feel it every rep, the audience isn't going to feel it on Saturday. And so, embodying this feeling, and everything you do with your hands, with your feet, with your face, it all goes into this communication, whether it's nonverbal, verbal, auditory, stationary, it's still communication. Everything we do on the field has got to be undeniably whatever it is that we're trying to portray there. And so, Ricardo, I think this is beautiful. And the more that we talk about it, and the more that we talk about you with this starts in day one of band camp. We
Yeah.
don't start. It's not August 30th, and we got 2 shows left. Let's start performing, guys.
And it's important to put it in your technique block.
Yes.
You can't do your technique block without rehearsing some element of performance. Like, I mean, a shameless plug. I literally actually go around teaching performance classes to people. So
Awesome.
that's my thing. I'd be to tie my theater world into my pageantry arts.
And,
world.
and you have to rehearse it. You can't just expect to show up at the competition
Right.
and turn it on. You have to rehearse that performance. Yeah.
And I would say that the same way that you teach your students how to play a concert B flat, and then an A, a B, a C, a D, all the rest of them, and then play music, is the same way that you have to approach things like this. They are layered responsibilities.
It's on the sheet. It's on the
On the
sheet.
seats.
Especially like kids, they don't always know how to emote, and so you have to teach them how to do that and like build their emotional vocabulary. Like, how do you express this? And like, get so nervous about it. And so if you actually have it in your technique block, then they get more comfortable with it, and it's like, okay, I can emote this, and this is how I can do that. And so that way they're not just boxed up. Especially like teenagers, they want to be cool and be like, oh, that's I don't want to do that. And then you're like, no, this is awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love.
Wow,
Oh.
that was a good one.
Ricardo,
was
that was a
great.
great 60-second tech block. Let's switch things up. Oh my gosh, I want to hear more from the crew. Can we do some What Are We Doing?
What are we doing? what are we doing?
Okay, the script says that this is the part where we let loose, but I think this team three tends to be pretty loose from the very beginning. So if we're gonna get looser, watch out, Dr. Frankenberger. Yeah, what script? This is all natural. All natural. Oh my goodness. We've got the first one that I want to share. This one's coming at us remote. Trish, do you got a what are we doing for us?
Hey everybody, it's Trish. You know, I never met a what are we doing that I didn't like. So I had to jump in with something that came up in our group chat earlier this week, last week. What are we doing, or I should say, what are our kids doing? Carrying their rifles by the strap or putting it on their shoulder like it's a purse. It is not a backpack. It is not a purse. We're all going to have new kids at band camp in the next upcoming weeks. Please show them that you're stretching out the strap. It's not a handbag. It's not a carrying handle. Something to think about.
Wise words from Trish. Is that something that happens a lot in y'all's groups?
No.
Not in my groups, because I don't allow it.
Do not at all. And I will tell you how it happens. I have only had to go off on one child ever for walking around with on the shoulder like that, and I lost it so back before I was saved, and the Lord is still working on me. But I was so bad on a child that it is epically talked about for generations. I've been teaching color guard for 30 years now. 31, 32 years. They still talk about it to this day, and it is passed down. Even if I play schools, they're like, "Oh man, please don't ever put your rifle on your shoulder." Like,
there's an anonymous email being sent.
Yes.
You're gonna want to do this.
Yeah, never do that.
And I was the same way when people would put their flags down and they wouldn't place it down. They just let it drop. I'm like, pick it back up.
Oh no. Here in the North Carolinas, I be fighting putting the flags against the wall when you're done. So like they're just randomly just sitting on the wall, and I go, can we roll our flags? Can we put them in a what do we call it? We line them up. Can we stack them like the winds do? Yeah, they're just all over the place and just hanging out against the wall.
You know the only thing that pisses me off? Sitting on a silk. Sitting on a silk pisses me off.
Yeah.
I know that we're talking about this right now, but there was a band director that had a reel on TikTok, and he was like, "Do you want a rage bait color guard member?" They were like, "Go up to them and ask them if you can use their flag to wipe your sweat off of your hat." I have to click away. I was like, so triggered. So triggered.
One of the years I marched, we had to tell the drumline to stop spitting on the floor during block because the color guard had to roll around in it, and we had like sit roll choreography in the winds, and so we're like, "Can you guys stop spitting on the turf? We're literally rolling in it."
Nasty.
Nasty. We're moving on. Nicole, do you have what we're doing?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I think this is for this is for the young staffs out there, because some programs have young staffs. Okay, what are we doing? Not being a little bit more realistic on what your kids can do. And when I say that, I'm not saying that you shouldn't challenge them, but being realistic on what you are wanting from, I guess, your designers. So again, this is about the staff. So young staff, working with designers. So when you say you want something, make sure you want it for your kids and not because it's something that you did. Maybe your kids play a grade 2, maybe 3, which is, there's nothing wrong with that on the field. But then you're going to ask someone to write you something that has lots of soundscapes in it, and they're not very good, or they're not comfortable with counting through something like that, or playing layered responsibilities within the music. Just being very real and honest with that, and knowing what to ask for from your designers, and then when you don't get that, to get a little upset later on. And I'm trying to be very cautious with my words right now, because at the same time, it's not calling anyone out, but like it's still a thing that's happening. As we have young you have young like color guard instructors who, just age out and then they have their own guard and then they're just like, I want them to do this because I did this. And it's just like, but you got to remember where you started. You have to build up. And the same thing has to happen with a horn line,
You have to be very realistic about I know in the color guard world about the skill level of your students, yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
and how you're going to set them up to be successful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
go
go ahead.
ahead, Nicole. Oh, I was just gonna say I just wanted to ask because this is something that we talk about a lot is ask for help or think through things like this. What are some things that you guys look at during when are you looking at? This is important. When are you looking for what next season holds and what are you talking about with the design team that sets your kids up for success?
You're
Yeah,
looking at those things at the end of the season.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
For next season.
for next season, because you're going to start at the end, like where you left off. That's the idea. You want to keep growing, and you grow from like the end of the season on. And then make goals for yourself, realistic goals, but make goals. And with the amount of kids that you have, and then I don't know, you want to make sure that you are articulating and communicating that to your designers and your staff to know that, there's a little push that's happening to get them to do more. Or maybe you're in a cleaning session, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the season, you decided, hey, they could maybe do this, but maybe we needed to clean more. So maybe that's where you start. But like make realistic goals on how you want the next season to go and really base it off of where you stopped, where where the season ended the year before.
Yeah, I'll piggyback back off that. I would say that if you could write notes throughout the season of things that went well, like oh we got to do this again next year, and things that you never want to do again, and literally the weekend after your last competition of the season, having a meeting with your staff and everybody sharing those things is how you get to the next season being better. I see a lot of band directors the next time they think about marching band isn't the second week of November, but the last week of May. So you've already forgotten how the season's gone. You're already behind the jump on ordering stuff. There's got to be a little bit of wrap up. And so we like to call them plus deltas where I'm at. And so, hey, what are some pluses and what are some, warning signs of things we should probably look at? And we try to do that as close to the end of the season as possible while things are fresh. Friends, if you find ways to communicate better, find ways to push the next season. It doesn't start in May. It starts halfway through the season you're currently in.
It starts halfway through the season. That's what I was going to say. Utilizing that time while you're in there, saying, "I know that this doesn't work, so how am I going to change that for next year?" Like I used to do that when, like, in August, I was like, "Well, I don't like how this is going, so I'm gonna make sure that next year I definitely don't do that next season or whatever."
Yeah.
Tomorrow for sure, but
Oh, that. Well, I hope that's some helpful information for friends that are looking to continually grow their marching band. Jeremy, do you got what are we doing?
I sure do. This actually came from the discussion I had with Trish about her rifle strap thing, and I said, what are we doing? What are we doing? Not respecting our equipment as a color guard performer. Yeah, and it comes to how do you carry it? How do you lay it on the sideline? How do you transport it? How do you prepare it for a performance? Yeah. So is it properly taped? Is it properly? Are you spinning a rifle that's like completely chipped and gross looking? Yeah. I hate when I see a rifle go in the air and I always see his stripes rotating it because it's like got white tape and the spots in between are all chipped and worn down. I'm like, get a can of spray paint. it's easy.
It was definitely the extra person because like I was not a weapon, but I was a flag, but I was also like, that does not look good.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to retape my flag all the time, but I did. Yeah. Or
I was the crazy weapon who like every Friday before a weekend of winter guard season I would spray paint it and retape it, and I wanted it to look pristine for performance because it's just as important as your costume or your hair, or like it's part of what you're presenting in the performance.
Yeah. The thing I tell my students all the time is the way you do one thing is the way you do all the things. So if you're not taking care of that piece of equipment, what part of the show are you not taking care of? What part of your body are you not taking care of? What part of the culture here at the organization are you not taking care of? The way you do one thing is the way you do all things. And if your equipment looks like that, I can only imagine what the next 6 minutes, as a judge, I look down what the next 6 minutes are going to hold, So take care of your stuff, friends.
Yeah.
Love. That's a great one, Jeremy. Ricardo, you got what are we doing?
Oh, this was the perfect segue into my what are we doing, because this is Ricardo's annual announcement to everyone. What are we doing? Not just to make sure flags are on and not on a pole. Okay, so let me talk about it. If you have a flag and it is a curved arc like this, the curve goes down. If you put it on and it goes up like this, it looks like crap. Okay, if you bought your flag from a catalog or someone custom designed a flag and sent you a sketch of it, look at how it looks on the picture and then hold it up and make sure it looks like that on the pole. If it does not, you are wrong. I'm going to tell you that if I see you and I'm judging you, I'm snapping a picture of it. I'm sending it to my group text to friends. I'm talking crap about you. I'm going to make a snide comment on your tape. And then I'm not really going to pay attention to the rest of your show. Because if you couldn't pay attention to that one detail, I'm sure everything else is going to be raggedy. I get the fact that kids put equipment on and they're just like running and throwing and going. But as an instructor, as a director, look at your kids and check and make sure this one thing is right. Because how are you going to get anything else right if that is not right? For the love of God, fix it.
Yes.
No notes. Thank you for coming to my tape.
So good.
Yeah, no one can say that better. Thank you, Ricardo.
All right.
Yeah. There's your soundbite for the show. Haley, do you got a you have so many. Do you have
I'm
what
just,
we're doing?
how do I go on after that? I mean, we should just end the podcast right now. That was just like perfect. No.
You're gonna get bullied by Ricardo.
So mine's a little different perspective on the what are we doing, because I need to ask, what are we doing to get stains out of white on our costuming and or just our clothes, because I have a problem with it, and I would love to know what you all do. So what does everyone do to do that? Because I will say this kind of stems back to when I was in marching band, high school marching band. We had our like school uniform, and then we had a pair of black pants, bibbers, and a pair of white bibbers. So our director was like, okay, we're going to start the season in our black bibbers, but we would get better. Not really better. We're going to wear them white, so it shows off our technique. And it's like, okay. So I'm wearing these white pants to a contest, right? And we have this like body we have to get on the ground. And this was before we all had these like nice turf fields. Still a lot of grass, especially in Kentucky. And we're in warm up, and I get down the ground because I'm going full out. I'm always full out, And I get down, I get back up, and there's grass stains all over my butt, before we go on the show. And I got all these band moms that I guess they have those like Tide to Go pins, and they were just like going at my butt, like oh, let's go get this out. And I am so embarrassed. I'm like a high school student. I'm like, this is awful. They ended up taking a picture and putting it on the band slideshow at the end of the year, the band banquet. I was like, this is so embarrassing. So there has got to be something better than Tide to Go for like our nice white. And I guess it's like in coordination with everything else we've been saying, like those small details, like taking care of your costuming. And especially I feel like the costuming currently is like really hard to put in the washing machine because you don't know what's going to happen. Like it says it's machine washable, but it still scares me. Yes. Like so many things can happen. It's like, okay, we're not going to wash this. We're going to do Febreze and we're going to keep going. So I don't know. What do we do?
One thing, Scotchgard has always worked on white. Like it's not going to keep you from getting a grass stain. However, like when you wash it, it will come out. And then I know that, oh gosh, what is those? The eraser, Mr. Clean Erase.
Yeah, those are magic.
Yeah. You can use that on fabric. and most of the time it will come out. But I just to pre-treat your fabric, Scotch guard it. Just hang it up and the whole entire thing, especially if it's white. Like I just don't leave on a place uncovered. Let it dry outside, and then when you go to wash it, that whatever stain is on there will come off. Or you can use the dry erase thing, or not dry erase. Gosh, stain thing, and it'll come out.
I'm going to suggest to using OxyClean because it's not very harsh on fabrics. But if you can soak it in some OxyClean and water, it gets more of it out, and it definitely lifts up the stains. Also, a trick that I learned when I worked at Banana Republic is fabric on fabric gets stains out faster than like just trying to wash stuff. So if it's the same or like fabric, there's some type of gravitational pull. I don't know the science behind it because science is not my ministry. But it pulls the dirt out if you do that.
Interesting. I learned something. I learned a lot of things during this podcast, but that was extra special.
Another quick Ricardo soundbite. That was awesome.
Yes.
Ministry, but
this is now my ministry. I'm gonna get shirts.
The brand plan here, so we need an endorsement from Scotch Guard, from Tide Pens, from Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, OxyClean. Hey, people out there, great podcasts are about to be sponsored by you. We can go around the country taking it to band programs every week. Just call us. A fresh band is a clean band. A fresh band is a clean band.
We love to be clean. You love being
in
clean.
all ways.
Yes, in all the ways. Please be clean. Yes.
I love that. My what are we doing is really quick, and then we'll push really fast, friends. My what are we doing is what are we doing not making more time for yourself, and this is like always a thing that I am fighting to do. But I've had so much fun this summer. Oh my gosh, I've taken a lot of breaks. I have gone and done the dance thing. I'm now a year back into hip hop dancing, and so if you need a hip hop dancer for your next big whatever, please hit me up. I've been working really hard, and I've lost a lot of poundage. But what are we doing? What are we not doing? Not making time for fun. I'm head over heels about this summer. I feel much better in the rehearsals that I have been in. I feel much better in the design meetings I've been in. Mostly, I feel because there's balance to my life. So, make some time, friends.
So proud. Yes.
Amen, Joey.
I'm so proud that you said that because you know how much of a self-care person I am. I'm very proud of you for that. And honestly, it just you're setting yourself up for success when stuff happens. Like I have 4 weeks before my band camp starts, and I'm just like, I can actually like take my time to get stuff ready and get it together and not be like, oh my gosh, I have 4 weeks,
Yeah. I gotta let this dry now because I gotta teach all day. Yeah. This is, I'm having so much fun.
Good.
Someone wise told me one time before, Joey, that how can you fill someone else's cup when yours is empty? And I think that I am so excited for you doing that. And it took me having spine surgery and having to be in the bed for a couple weeks to take a break. And I'm going to tell you, it was nice.
I might do it again.
The pain.
You ready for some gush and go?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Great job, everyone. Set your equipment down. Touch and go.
Welcome to Gush and Go. This is your chance to shout out something awesome happening in your life. I feel like I just did that. Marching arts related or not. No negativity here, just pure unfiltered hype. Jeremy, what's the hype?
I'm going to gush and go. I talked on the last podcast I was on about this unique Minnesota forward marching band season that I started doing this summer. And I'm going to gush and go about my kids. I started teaching a group here in Minnesota, a small little band, 40 wind players, 7 color guards. Their first season, really having a great staff. And we finished 2 weeks ago, state champions in Class A. And the guard was second overall out of 19 bands. So like half of a 10.
We'll get her next year.
So yeah, I mean, this is a guard that's never had formal training, never had a staff, and to come second to bands that compete like at the WGI level,
Yeah, awesome.
on the street. I'm super proud of these kids, and I'm excited for the future of the Winona Carter marching band. So
I'm super proud of you, Jeremy.
Yes.
it was a really fun experience, and I'm already excited to do it again. So and all of you are talking about band camp, and I'm done for the season. So.
That's so nice.
Treat yourself nice now.
Yes.
I love that. Haley, what are we gushing going about?
Well, speaking of band camp, we just finished up ours, and it's a good vibe so far. I'm really pumped about, I think, what these kids are going to be able to do. We had our community performance, basically, here's what we did at band camp on Thursday, and we did more than we have in years. And they are just really excited. They're learning so much. Like, we have more produced, we have more music, we put some drill on, and we have several younger students. We have to, because we're a small band, so we pull up some 8th graders to fill it out, and they're just so excited. They're willing to do whatever. They're like, do this weird dance thing, okay? I've never done this, but especially wind players, especially tuba players, they're just like, okay. And I've got to work with the low brass a lot. I'm a tuba player, but I got to do low brass sectionals, and they just made my day every single day. I've got these 3 tubas that we've been calling the 3 Stooges, 3 Musketeers. They're a hoot. I love them so much. They're all great kids, but yeah, definitely,
That's awesome.
definitely my gush and go. Yeah.
Yay.
Yes.
Ricardo, what are we going about?
I am gushing that a new year is about to start. I will be meeting with the visual performing arts teachers at my district in a couple weeks. I'm just excited about the freshness of beginning anew and getting more kids involved in the art and just spreading joy and sunshine out there in the world.
Love. It's a good mission to have. Nicole, what are we going about?
Well, you guys know that I love the marching arts. And so all the things that are happening, yay, I'm excited about that. But what I'm really excited about, and you can't really tell, this wall is the same color as all the walls in my room. And I am doing the painstakingly very particular job of I washed every wall in the room. Now, and literally as I get off this podcast, I'm going to go and spackle every hole. After that happens, because it needs 24 to 72 hours to dry, I'm going to sand it. And then I have 2 different tones of purple that I'm doing off the walls. Oh, honey, I want my room to be my oasis. I am making this happen before band camp starts, because this is where I'm going to need to unwind. So it's funny because, you've heard about Steel Magnolias, which is oh, my colors are blush and bashful. Well, the colors that I'm using in my room is called Soulmate and Expressive Plum. I'm not kidding. True to form. I'm sorry, I'm self-aware. I know.
I can't wait to see the kind of just growth we see in the room behind you over the
I've been
podcast.
taking pictures in every, phase.
Yes, I love that. My gush and go, oh my gosh, taking time for myself has allowed me to do things I haven't gotten to really focus on over the last decade. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm now about a year back into training. It's 5 days a week at this point. Break dancing and hip hop dancing, and there's some cool opportunities that I don't get to share yet. That are some major traveling, touring groups right now that you're seeing all over social media are looking for other dancers, and there's an opportunity for me to dance in one of those. I'm just trying to do all the NDA things and be smart about the thing, but oh my gosh, I'm so excited. And, I'm excited about my students. I've taught 4 band camps this summer, and every one of those groups of students seems like we're back from 2020. They're ready to go. We don't have to ask them to do things. We don't have to remind them to do things. Here's the standard, go, go, go. And they're just taking it and running with it. And I wonder, because it's happened, now at this point across the country that I've seen, I'm wondering if that's happening other places or if it's the focus on culture that we've had over the past couple of years. I'm hoping it's both. But, oh my gosh, my students are just so excited. I had the best time this summer teaching, and I can't wait to now start focusing on band camp stuff. and seeing if that energy we had in June has transferred into July and August. And if so, unstoppable and undeniable is around the corner. I'm loving life right now. Yeah.
Hey, it's called Gush and Go, not Gush and Stay. Let's go.
Gush and stay is funny. I use that in rehearsal all the time. This is gush and go, not gush and stay. We've now there's a difference. There's a gush and go, which is you jog to your water jug, you drink it, and you jog back. And then there's a sip and dip where you can walk to your water jug, sip, and walk back. Now there's two speeds in rehearsal for water breaks. Friends, do you got a question or a good topic to talk about? Send us your water we doings, gush and goes, and other news stories online. You might even see yourself featured on a future episode. Check out our link in our bio to submit using our form. Thanks, friends, for a great rehearsal this week. Thank you, everyone, for spending time with us. Nicole, Ricardo, Jeremy, Haley. It's always a great time. Do you have any parting words before we dash away and we see each other in a couple of weeks?
Soak up the rest of the summer that you have. If you're not doing anything for band yet, just get your mind right and show yourself and people around you grace.
I think that's very important. Yeah, I think we're all just trying our best. I 100% I'm with you. Anybody else?
I'm just ready for that.
I'm ready to go on vacation now.
I'm ready for that quick sip that we're gonna have with the MLB people, so I can know how to do it next year.
Shout out Pepsi. Shout out Tide Pods. Shout out everybody in the club. Multi-sponsored. Shout out Gucci. Honestly, shout out Gucci. One more thing, friends. Don't forget, we have a YouTube channel now, so go subscribe. Tell us all the things you want to tell us there. Also, before you close out your podcast listing app, go subscribe, write us a review, and share this with a friend. Follow us on social media at On a Water Break. And as always, friends, we'll see you at the next rehearsal on a water break.
Go practice.
The On a Water Break podcast was produced by Jeremy Williams and Christine Ream. The intro and outro music was produced by Josh Lyda. To learn more, visit lydamusic.com. And until next time, thanks for tuning in.